Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today we are taking a cheeky look at Polkadot and specifically the price action of the coin. Guys, as we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. If you are new, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another update here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, and on that note, guys, I'm pleased to say that this video has been sponsored by Crypto.com. Now, Crypto.com is the world's fastest growing crypto app. With Crypto.com, you can buy, sell, and trade all of your crypto at the true cost. This is fantastic, and I do use Crypto.com all the time. I can deposit my crypto and earn a nice passive income on my holdings, making my crypto work for me. We, of course, cannot forget their new NFT platform either, and their recent partnerships with people like UFC and being the official kit provider. The fact that they are now using a good on and off ramps with Circle, APIs. So there's a lot going on with Crypto.com. I do think it's worth checking out. Obviously, I do use their debit card all the time as well and earn a nice, juicy cashback as well. Guys, there's a link in the description below. Check out Crypto.com. I do highly recommend it. Right, with all that said, done out of the way, let's start talking about what is going on here when it comes to Polkadot, right? So this is the weekly chart for Polkadot, and obviously there's not a huge amount of information here, but one thing that I do want to kind of really talk about on this weekly chart is where we were, right? This is the all-time high that was kind of set up here, and this happened on the 10th of May, right? And then from here, we obviously went into that kind of decline, that bear market. We can obviously see that we found this interesting area just here of resistance. Then we went down to these lower areas, right? And then obviously we started to come back up most recently. And we're right back into this rejection area that we're in previously. So this is a key point for Polkadot right now. It's doing really well, but are we likely to get out of this area? Are we going to be pushing up significantly further ahead? So obviously we take a look at the stochastic. We are overbought. This is perfectly fine. This is something that we were overbought for quite a large portion of our other wave to the upside over here, right? So oversold during our correction wave and overbought during our main wave. So the fact that we're overbought is pretty positive to continue the growth here for Polkadot. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump down into our daily view here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab hold of our Fibonacci retracement tool. We're going to throw this on and we're going to just line this up with everything that we're seeing from our low points down here. Get that lined up for us. So we can see what's going on, right? So there's a couple of things that we need to acknowledge. I'm just going to grab hold of my rectangular box here. So the first thing we need to obviously be aware of is the 618, the 702, the 786 of this main Fibonacci. This Fibonacci is running from the all-time high all the way down into our bear market just down here. And during this moment, we can see that we actually found this area of resistance. Now, if I grab hold of my Fibonacci retracement and I actually bring it down to this point just here, what we can do is we can see that this is where we started to see that they had the 718 as the major kind of resistance block, right? We had the wicks coming above it, and we also had a breakout of this area most recently, but failed to hold it. We actually came down a little bit lower to the 702, and we're also wicking down to this 618 area. So this yellow box is absolutely key for us right now, as this is where the main battle is happening. We're fighting against the 786. Getting above the 786 and confirming that area as a support line is going to be absolutely vital for us as we continue the growth. There isn't too much resistance between where we are right now, this 786, and going up to that main area for the 618, 702, and 786 of this particular Fibonacci. Okay, so this area that we're fighting right now is absolutely key for Polkadot. So getting this closed candle above here is going to be vital in pushing further ahead. Now we can obviously take a look at that stochastic. It's in a nice low area. We were oversold during this correction wave as we were bottoming it out here, and now we're starting to get some growth back to the upside here as we start to push the stochastic back to the upside. Now when we throw the volumes on here, what we can see is actually the volumes have been decreasing since we kind of reached this top end over here, right? So we peaked out just above our yellow box area, and then we had the pullback. The pullback actually helped protect the price here whilst we were losing volumes. Now what we're looking for is a growth in our volume and a good buying volume as we continue the push to the upside over here. And when we actually check this with the AAVE Dashboard, and what we do is we actually take a look at the Polkadot data, and the artificial intelligence and machine learning at advice.io has chosen that Polkadot here is a A2 rating, so nothing to really worry about. It's an A2 for liquidity, so there's no problems with liquidity on the AMI had ratio. It's an A1 for fear and greed index. It's extremely greedy, guys. So obviously under that scenario, you start to see a lot more FOMO, but you also see those seasoned traders also taking profits. You can also see that the Sharpe ratio is up at an A2 rating, well above our 50-day average. So there's no risks associated with holding in terms of your return on investment and all that kind of good stuff. Speaking of return on investment, it's up there as an A1 rating, which is the best you can get. So this artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the AAVE.io dashboard has no problem with anything that's going on with Polkadot from a technical point of view. So everything's lined up quite nicely here. So there's nothing to worry about or anything to be alarmed with. So everything on this looks like it's actually getting some decent traction. What we now need is some good sentiment here around pushing that good volume in as we start to take out this key area. We are looking at moving up to that $30.10 area. That's going to be the resistance of the 50% retracement zone. Okay, so everything to play for here on this daily chart. But what about the hourly? Does the hourly also come in line with our thinking? Now, obviously, we can see the good push to the upside here. Some good volumes were behind that, the pullback, and the pullback so far has actually started to lower this momentum. We started to see a loss of the momentum and basically correcting our stochastic. Now, overall, the volumes are actually decreasing, even though we've pushed the price up. So we are looking at basically trying to set a lower low, but by taking out that momentum. So if we can continue to drop the volume here on this hourly, and maybe we'll find a good support line. If I can just track one, there's one about here, which will be $26.38. If we can just drop down to about there, maybe a little bit lower, we can go down to maybe 26.24. Anywhere in this area, as long as it's higher than where we were previously, I think that's going to be a really good tell. That will allow us to continue this growth and then take out this yellow box area afterwards. So we want to drop the volume whilst we drop our stochastic. We'll lower the price a tiny bit, not too much whilst we do that, and then we'll bring in good volume. We'll bring in good stochastic, and then we'll go in for a price surge after that. So everything here on Polkadot is lining up very, very nicely, and there's nothing to really worry about with this. It's looking very tidy, and I think there's a lot of potential now to the upside as we start to see some good areas get taken out with Polkadot here. And if we are ever in doubt, guys, it's always important that we do zoom out. It's important that we basically have a good focus in on what is going on with our weekly chart. Know where we are heading, where we are tracking in terms of what our price expectations are. We can see Polkadot going out to a maximum area of about $177 here. And again, this is something that we've spoken about quite a bit. Unless something amazing technically happens, obviously with Polkadot there are things happening in the background. So with parachains and all that kind of stuff, parathreads, we could start to potentially see a different price expectation just surge through here. But for now, based on the technicals of what we do know inside the project and what the technical data actually already has available to it, we can see $177. Now, $177 from its current position, if I grab hold of my price range, that does come in at around about 560% from the current position. So some pretty juicy gains still to be made here from where we are right now. So yeah, everything's still to play for, guys. And this is my brief update on Polkadot, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, then do hit the like button. I really appreciate that. If you are new, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done, and out of the way, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one.